You're tuned into America Talk Live, continuing the legacy of the LA Talk Live broadcast network. This is the all-new and built back better America Talk Live, where it's still more than just talk. This is LA Talk Live.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hello, hello, hello. How are all you guys out there? This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. I am your host, Jackie Elam. Welcome to my show. We are going to have two awesome guests today. The first will be Julian Broadus. We will be discussing his career and how he's trying to break into the music industry and how he's trying to do it on his own. He does not want to use his father, who is Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, why not? I surely would. I had a famous parent, I definitely would, but everybody is different. And as we know, sometimes parents who are already in the entertainment industry, they tend to allow their children to grow up and make that choice on their own, whether or not, to put them in at a young age or to wait until they're adults and they want to pursue whatever careers they choose to. Sometimes parents choose to do that. For me, I could use myself as an example. My boys were born into the business, so it was definitely an easy transition for their dad and I to make that choice to say, okay, cool, you did it at a young age and you turned out okay, so we don't mind putting them in. But again, everyone is different, and we've heard many interviews with different celebrities who may go one way or the other. So we're going to talk with him to see why his parents chose to keep him out, and maybe it's because of protecting him, or again, maybe they just wanted him to make that decision on his own. I just want to give you guys a recap on what my show is about. I am here to give a voice to the voiceless in the entertainment industry. I feel that we tend to only hear from the people of, a show that may be successful, the A-listers, the main characters, or if it's in the music business, we tend to hear from people who are, top 10, top 20, at the very top of the Billboard charts, but we don't necessarily hear from the entire team, the team that helped create that song, the songwriter or the producer, unless they're already big. In the movie industry, sometimes we don't get to hear from the set designers. We don't get to hear from the animators. We don't get to hear from the people who do the voiceovers. Unless the show is big again and extremely successful, then we get to hear from them. So I'm trying to create a platform that will allow everyone to be heard. Because I feel like everyone is important, and it takes the entire team to get a project out. And nowadays, it's not just TV and music as far as the entertainment industry. We have social media. We're getting entertained on social media nowadays. And we also have YouTube, which is an amazing platform. There are web series. They even have award shows for web series shows. So that's an awesome thing to know. You don't have to wait until a major record label deal to come in. You don't have to wait until a huge studio network deal come in. You can actually create your content now and choose to get it on these different independent avenues that are out there. And people are entertaining like that. So I'm open to hearing from any and everyone that is entertaining. If you entertain, I want to know your name. So we're going to start the show off with Julian Broadus. Again, his father is Snoop Dogg. He is the third son of Snoop Dogg, and I want to welcome him, I should say. Hello, Julian.
Hello.
He's so handsome, and he's like extremely tall with my heels on. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5", but almost 6'6". So
Wow.
I just tell people 6'6".
Wow, that's amazing. And you just turned 18, right?
Yeah, in June.
Oh, see, he's a not a baby anymore. I don't want to say that. That's my favorite word. But tall and handsome and talented. And so I just want to welcome you. Thank you so much for letting me interview you.
No problem, no problem.
So I mean, I guess the first thing people would want to know, like, how is it having such like your dad's not just famous. Like when we think of hip hop, honestly, like when we start naming top hip hop artists that have helped the game, changed the game, or even started out in the very beginning, like your dad's name would be one of those top names. He's a legend in the business. So did you know who your dad was growing up, or did you learn that later as you got older?
Oh yeah, I definitely knew who he was, but it was like I was so young and it like never really hit me until I got older and like all of his music would come out and people would be like, oh, like I would hear it like driving down the street or something like that, just outside because everybody used to listen to it like when I lived in Long Beach and it'd be like crazy, like and everybody would look at me like you're that dude's son, like and I was like, oh man, that's bananas.
I know. I would be freaking out too. I
Yeah.
mean, so did you realize the the impact that your dad has around the world at a young age as well?
Oh yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Wow. Were you able to like go into the studio with your dad? Have you ever been on any tracks with your dad, as a child? Because I know now you're older trying to pursue it.
Well, I've always been like an athlete, so he didn't want me around all that smoke and everything like that. So I never was in the studio with him, and I never wanted to be on a track with him. I never asked him, or he never asked me. So maybe in the future we got something. I don't know. It can always happen like that.
So he doesn't necessarily know you were trying to pursue, or when did you realize at what age that, okay, I want to also pursue music as well, like my father?
Well, I started writing poetry, and the poetry led into music, and it wasn't like a conscious decision to do music. It was more like I fell into it. So, with that being said, music has always been a passion in my life. Like any way you look at it, anything I do has to have music involved. Whether it be just chilling, whether it be out and about, playing basketball, stuff like that. Everything has to have music involved in it because it makes me feel better. It gives me a different vibe and puts me in a whole different state of mind than I'd be like regularly.
Awesome. I mean, that's great because people like me, I'm not musically inclined whatsoever in any shape or form. But I do love to sing. And even though I can't sing, I can't rap. And I even tried to do karaoke, which is so horrible to any type of fast rapping. I mean, you really think that a lot of people may say that, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody think that they can rap. I feel like I could until I did a Missy Elliott karaoke. And I was like, oh my gosh, because she speaks so fast. And I was
Yeah.
so tongue twisted. And all I could do was just, dip it, dip it, dip it, just played it off because, I mean, really, I know you say you do poetry, but is it a natural transition for people to go from poetry to writing music?
I can't speak on everybody because a lot of people nowadays don't really write their music, so they have
Okay.
people write for them. But for me, it was pretty simple because like my mother has always made me read books, and from those books, I like started to have like a bigger imagination and like all the stuff that I've been taught in my life has helped me become like the artist that I'm trying to become.
Okay.
So the steps that I'm taking to become the artist that I want to become has bounced off of all the stuff I've learned. So it's like it's nothing crazy for me. Like everybody is like, "Oh man, I have this huge story about why I'm a rapper." Or it's not like that for me.
So you said you did sports, you read a lot, you were focused on your schooling. Do you know the reason why maybe your parents? I mean, because it's easy. I have my kids in. I don't have a famous, parent, and we're not famous, but we got them in. Do you know the reason why they kept you out of the business?
Um, I have no idea on that part. It's like I guess they were trying to protect me, but
Who knows?
no, who knows?
Again, I mean, every parent is different, and maybe again the protection, because who knows? I don't know. But the great thing is that you're here now and you're older and more mature. So what are you doing to start that process for yourself? Because I spoke with you, about a week or so ago about this, and I'm like really shocked. I'm like, why not? Why are you choosing to do it on your own?
Well, for me, I don't want people to go around telling me, "Oh, you made it only because your dad was behind you and putting you in the right positions." It's not like that. It's not like I'm doing music because I want to be just like my father. I'm doing music because I have a love for it. And when you have a love for something, you don't want it to be tainted with negativity. And I
Exactly.
always want to keep the positive vibes around me and everything like that. So people will always people will always talk about you any way you look at it. That's how you know you're doing something right. And I just don't want it to be for that reason. Like I can live with people like slandering me for my music not being good or at that point, but for them to call it like, "Oh, you're only this far because of so and so," it's like, okay, like no, I have talent.
Right. And I want to say for people who tend to have that negative outlook on people because of their family's name, it usually is because it's just a little jealousy. And at the end of the day, if you had a parent and you had access to get resources easier than others, they would most likely use it, but they
Exactly.
don't have that ability to be, related to someone or to know someone to help them in whatever they're trying to do. So a lot of people just like to spit on people's parade, and I don't get it, but it's okay. This show is going to help uplift. This is the whole purpose. People, we need to try to uplift and encourage one another in anything that we are doing. And even when they want to do it on their own, you're going to have a greater reward from trying to pursue this on your own. And that's definitely commendable, I must say.
Yeah, yeah. But for me, like if my dad wants to be a part of this whole thing, like I'm not gonna be like, don't be a part of it. But like for right now, I'm just doing it by myself, and I'm gonna take the time out and master my skills, and then when I feel like I'm perfected at my craft, and I'll put a lot more music out there, because I've dropped music, but I just don't feel like it's up to par with what I need to be putting it. So I took it back down, and then I just want to recreate and make it sound like what it needs to sound like, because at first I was recording from my house, and everything doesn't sound right when you record from your house, but I started looking up tutorials on how to master and mix and everything like that, and I was producing some beats for myself, and it's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to keep going to classes and learning and doing things like that, because I'm only 18. And
Yeah.
if you look at the game, there's only like a certain amount of people who are 18 doing it big, like Lil Yachty, stuff like that. But I don't want to be one of those artists. Like I want to be an artist that sticks around for a long time, because I want to be able to have multiple talents. I don't want to be a one-dimensional person or a one-dimensional artist.
And so you're honing in on your craft and skills. Are you playing any instruments on your own, or are you just trying to learn how to produce the music on your own?
Sooner than not, I'll be starting like singing and dancing classes, and then
Okay.
going to that, and then hopefully by the time I'm 20, 2 years from now, I'll be where I'm at with that, and then I can just go from there. Cause I have some people that would love to listen to my music, but like I just want to make it to the best of its ability.
So you're basically starting at the very beginning, which is studying, taking classes, and doing all the different things to learn about the industry.
Yeah, can't rush the process.
Right. And it's so amazing that you're doing that when you really don't have to. Like, you can just go to Papa, but you
Yeah,
don't have
I
to.
could just make a whole bunch of songs about like rapping and stuff like that and all the stuff that I've been through, but it's I feel like I can take my time and really perfect what I'm doing, and then come out with all that stuff in the right time. Cuz right now the music scene is more like of the South, like it's that trap music, and I mean like I can get on a trap song, but it's not me, it's not from the heart. It's not
What
soulful.
is your well? What? How can you describe it? Since you don't want to let us listen to anything that you pulled off, and I get it because you want to make sure it's where you want it.
Yeah.
So what would? How can you describe what your sound is?
Um that's really tough, cuz as an artist, I don't really have like a, oh, this is what I sound like. Like it's like some people have told me I sound like my dad in some songs. It's really weird for me to hear that, and it's like, oh, I'm like,
Can you hear it? You don't hear it?
I do, but it's just weird for me, because that's like, oh man, that dude's like super famous, and it's like, wow, that means a lot, and they're like, yeah, that's really good, and but my sound is more something I can't really express like what it sounds like in like a musical scheme type of deal, but like
Okay.
it's soulful. That's all I can say. All of my lyrics are real stuff that I've been through. It's nothing like I'm like writing about being in a trap, shooting at people, because that's not the life I lived. I
Right.
had a nice upbringing. Like my parents were really good to me, but it's like for me, I'm writing about what I've been through and what I know. and like stories that I see from people and hear and everything like that. All of it is from my perspective of life. And whenever I make a song, I want the listener to understand that like everything I'm writing has a perspective. It's not just blatant lyrics just being written for no reason.
Or words that you don't understand, because I nowadays I
Yeah.
feel like some music I'm like, no, wait, rewind that back. Now I done heard it 15 times and he just made that word up, because I've never heard of that before. And I don't know if they're just doing it to make it rhyme. If is that okay? Is that the new hip hop? Like, can you just say things that don't make sense? It seems like it. So it'd be great if you're bringing great content and coming from that poetry background, telling a story and making your lyrics stand out versus the track. I mean, of course, the track is important too, but you're not trying to sound like the South because you're not from the South, right? Are you
Yeah.
born and raised here in
Yeah.
LA?
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's a sound too, though.
It is.
I mean, because I've been out here for 13 years, and I only a few songs, especially YG and games. So there are some songs that I get, but some of the LA true hardcore sound, I still haven't adjusted to, because I am from the South.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I don't want to like put myself in like a boat of music because I'm not gonna do that. That's why I want to do these singing and dancing classes because I'm gonna expand on what I already have. I mean, it's not like I like not talented enough to make music already, but I just don't want to be like stuck in having to make one type of like genre of music. I can just take my time, really understand what I want to make, and then go from there and do it. Plan it out correctly, and then when it's time for me to make that music and drop it, then it'll be there. And me being 18, I still have a lot of things to learn, a lot to experience, and I just want to make sure that my music sticks.
And someone who is in your position, maybe your age, is what would be the advice that you may tell them, going forward in their career or trying to start their career? Because you're at the very beginning of your stage, in your career. So what would you tell them?
Someone that's in my position,
Yes.
take your time, don't rush anything. Don't rush anything and just take your time because with that being said, you don't want to make something that's bad and then try and push it. And then when everybody listens to it, they're like, and then you try and push a really good song that you took your time on and they don't want to listen to it because they have that first taste of what they think your music is. But, everybody's in a rush when it comes to this music stuff because they want to make that money, like the people in the industry. That's why they drop a whole bunch of songs so quickly because, they can get on shows and tours and everything like that. But if I'm giving advice to somebody, I'm telling them to take their time and really know what you're talking about in your music because somebody will ask you, and if you don't want to be caught off guard, like, yeah, I don't know, I just made that up, and then it's like, oh, you're one of those artists, and then you start getting labeled, and a whole bunch of stuff comes with it. Like with this music stuff, it's just a bunch of judgment, and you got to be able to take it and roll with it and put it into your music and make it better.
Okay, and that makes sense. You want to make sure, but do we not allow for room to grow? I mean, is it so much pressure to where you feel like the very first thing you have to be A1 on top of your game, or is it not okay to see the progression of artists nowadays? It seems as if it's a lot of pressure. You have the pressure of being Snoop Dogg's son. You have the pressure of even dropping music that's hot just because of that, and making sure you don't even sound like your father because you don't want people to have something to say about that. So when we come back from our break, we will elaborate more on the pressure of being a legendary hip hop artist's son, because I know there has to be some pressure. You seem very cool and chill now, very reserved and calm. I don't know if you did a little meditation before you came in here, but I'm like sweating for you. The pressure has to be very, very, very heavy on you. But you are tuning in to Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. We are talking to Julian Broadus, Snoop Dogg's third son. If you didn't know, he had three. And we are talking about his music career. He is pursuing and pushing and grinding and studying. And when he drops his music, you all have to be in tune and listen and go purchase and support him. So stay tuned. Be sure to call in if you have any questions at 323-473-3100. We'll be right back. Thank you.
the time space continuum though. Other remain thorough AM. Splash what you saying, I'm dead. Barbershop type fresh. 24/7 blessed and still ride. For fine dining on a China dish. With a break ready to bow tie, cause baby I'm polished. Since college been popped since around 5 o'clock. Him and shipping getting jock. That's how you can't pop block. My fully thirsty hip hop ears quenched. And ladies in their lining on their lingerie drenched.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hey H-Town, what it do? It's your girl Jackie Elam, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and Hollywood set mom. Tune into America Talk Live on latalklive.com every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific to check out my new show, Jackie Elam Live, premiering Saturday, September 10th. I will reveal the world of child performers and various forms of entertainment for all ages. My guests and I are going to empower and educate you with helpful stories, topics, and advice about the show business. This is going to be a fun-filled hour, so don't forget to tune in to Jackie Elam Live every Saturday, 12 noon Pacific on latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, shout outs out What's the Count? I'm Ferran Dozier.
And I'm your boy, Cali Sportsman, inviting you to join us
Every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific on the Sports Lounge Live.
Explore the world of sports, from amateur to the pros, the community on a global level, relevant sports news, and guess what? We even have live studio guests.
So don't forget to tune into the Sports Lounge Live every Saturday 2 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the America Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk.
I be coasting, boasting my life, cause I keep the girl verbal till infinity beyond and complete is my circle. Tight at 16 and a half around my neck. Cold torture with Steve Harvey cuts, chrome on the bed. Yeah, luxury isn't at its finest till you next to palm trees, feeling like you on the island in the States though, with the state of mind.
Hello, welcome back. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. You are tuning in with me and my guest, Julian Broadus, Snoop Dogg's third son. We were just talking about how he is honing in on his craft by studying and writing and learning more about producing. I guess I had a question. So you're studying, you're writing. At some point, like you said, you were able to produce some of your music on your own. You put it out and then you took it down. You created your own studio in your home, or are you also going to different studios?
Well, for me, I had my studio in my closet. Like I was ambitious. I'm still ambitious to this day, even more. But like I was like, man, I got to get this music out. I got to really see what it would sound like. And so I would go to a friend's house, and I recorded there for the first time, and it was weird to hear myself on a microphone. And I wanted it, because I was a basketball player at first, as you know, and I broke my hand. And before that, I asked God if he wants me to play basketball still, or he wants me to pursue music. And when I broke my hand, right after a couple weeks or two after that, and I was like, okay, I know this music stuff is for me. So I gave it a shot, and I fell in love with it the first time. The first song wasn't really good. I'm not gonna lie. And
who did you let hear? How did you know you weren't good? You have goodness in your bloodline.
Well, it wasn't that I wasn't good. I just didn't have a flow.
Okay.
So everything was rushed, with the sound. I wouldn't give the music any breaks. It was just a straight continuous line of raps. And I thought it was hard, but it wasn't. Listening to it now, I was like, oh, thank God I took it down. But yeah, it was the first song I ever made, and for me, I felt joyous because it was something I made. It had my name on it, had my touch on it, my spin, and it was crazy. I loved it. And I could be myself. When I was a basketball player, I could only do so much, and I couldn't be unique really, because everybody plays basketball. They wear the same stuff. It's
everybody's not your height though.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you make it easier. You could just stand there and just dunk, right? You don't have to jump.
Yeah,
maybe at 6'6", 6'5".
But I was playing guard, so it was I was doing all the stuff that all the small, fast people do, and it was yeah, not good. I didn't like having to guard all the point guards and shooting guards. I was let me take a break off that. And yeah, this music stuff is what I love. So I'm really glad that God opened those doors for me and showed me
That this is where you should go. And I love that
exactly.
you don't feel the pressure to rush.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel the pressure to just quickly get something out there, even though you did and took it back. You just don't feel that pressure. Now, we were talking about pressure. What pressure do you feel being the son of Snoop Dogg?
Oh. Uh. Well, the the pressure I feel of being Snoop Dogg's son is it's a tremendous pressure. Don't get me wrong. Like I just appear relaxed and
Yeah, you
I
do.
can keep myself calm, but trust me, every day it's like I don't want to make it like a bad decision because it doesn't just affect me. It affects my father's image as well. Everybody who's in my family, like my mother, my father, everything like that. So when I make a decision, I'm thinking about more than just myself every time. And I don't really have pressure in this mixed stuff because music is, it's even if I don't end up being successful in it, it's like I still love it, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep doing it, whether there's money involved in it and whether there's not. But I would love to be able to make music like a career for me, and that's why I want to take my time with it and not rush anything and be a one-hit wonder. Let's say like I make like a really good song now, and then I can't capitalize on that, and then my music just tanks out.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Well, we have a caller on the line, and they're calling. Hello, how are you, caller? Who am I talking
I'm
to, and where are you
good.
calling from?
This is Janae from Houston, Texas.
Welcome, welcome, all my family and friends and listeners out there and watchers, because you can also see us on this interview. Welcome, Houstonians, and welcome, Janae. Do you have a question for Julian?
Yes, I do, Julian. I wanted to know. So you seem like a real nice, laid back type of guy. You don't seem like real gangster like your dad. So you seem like. So is your music? Is your music gonna go like in a different direction? Are you gonna do like pop, or is your
Oh
rap
yeah.
gonna be gangster, or is it
No,
just like what type of music are you doing?
I think I'm gonna end up in that pop lane sooner than not because like I like it. Like I'm not gonna front. I like listening to pop. I like listening to EDM. I like listening to a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not just a like listening to rap music all the time. I'm way beyond like the barriers of music. Like I listen to some rock sometimes. Like for me,
Right.
it's whatever vibe I'm feeling that day. I'm gonna listen to it. Like I don't really care like what people think about what I listen to. Like I was raised off of jazz and classical music all my life. Like it's nothing like for me to listen to music
That's
that's different.
That's awesome. Me too. I listen to tons of different things. When you genuinely love music, you can't just limit yourself to just one thing, or because that's what your dad does or what people may expect of you. And that's good. I'm glad that you're following your heart and being your own entity and your own individual.
Exactly.
I just watching you, I could just detect that from your energy. Like your soul just gave off a little different vibe to me, and I connected with you. I was like, he's cool. He got a different vibe, and he seemed like he's like on a different level. And I keep hearing you mention God and praying and stuff like that. So I think you're gonna go far, sweetheart. Just keep it up and always follow your dreams and don't do what everybody expects you to do, and you're gonna do great.
Thank you. I
follow
really
your
Thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much,
You do.
Janae from Houston, Texas, calling in. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. You look great, girlfriend.
Thank
You're
you.
so pretty, my fellow
Hey.
Houstonian.
My fellow Houstonian. But that's so true
All right.
because I'm sorry, you still on. Okay, bye girl. So that's so true. People do expect you to sound like your father, to talk about the things that your father talk about. But earlier you did say I didn't grow up in this gangster life. So how can I rap about that? Even though artists do rap about it and they don't have that real life experience. So you say you grew up listening to jazz. Like who put jazz in your ears at such a young age?
My mother and my father.
So how old would you say you were when they introduced you to other genre of music?
I was in the womb.
Oh, okay, well that makes
from
sense.
from the womb, I've been listening to different stuff because my mom, like when she was pregnant, she would always listen to jazz and classical music and everything of like that sort, like serene music. And I wouldn't listen to like too much rap until like I was like a cool 2 years old, 3 years old, and my mom would always put in my dad's CD because he would just leave it in there.
Okay.
And then it was bad to the point where I was like cussing because I would know every lyric of the song because it would be replayed so much because my dad would always play it.
But is it okay? Because technically it's your daddy. You just saying what your daddy said. Like, is that okay for 2-3-year-olds to
No, nah, it's not.
to recite the music of a legendary father? No, I guess that's not a
it
good
was
look.
like it was like all the hardcore stuff, like the that was what, like 2001.
Okay.
Like the Chronic album was.
Oh
out.
yeah, you should not be quoting and reciting the Chronic.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those.
No, yes, okay, I get it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you got a pass, but I guess not. Mommy turned around like, no, baby.
Yeah, she's like, no. But then she took the disc out, and then he'd come and he'd play it still, and they'd be like, what's going on? I'd be cussing and stuff. It was just all bad.
That's so funny. So you have a great vision for yourself as not being locked into one sound for this hip hop business. Who do you see yourself working with then? Because like you say, you can't necessarily describe what your sound is. So if you could work with someone in the business to kind of like that may match well with your sound or what you see yourself doing, who would it be?
Let's see. For one, like I love listening to Chris Brown's music. I feel like he's probably the next best thing next to Michael Jackson coming up.
Yes, I agree.
So it's like if I had to like list somebody I'd have like would love to work with, it'd be Chris Brown. Whether it be just writing like some lyrics with him or because I'm not on Chris Brown's level of singing. That dude is beyond.
Wait, you said singing. So you sing too?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
You're singing and rapping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that'll be a different twist. I mean,
Exactly.
wait, we do get some rappers that do try to sing on, and I guess that might
And
be
that
auto-tune.
auto-tune,
Yeah.
no,
So
not
you
that.
actually can hold a note, like stand in front of the church.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to develop.
Because that's where you know you can go to the next
Yeah.
level. Because most people come from the church
The
first,
choir,
the
yeah.
choir, and then onto the stage. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get to the point of you singing with the choir. You're just not standing. You're not doing your solo yet
Not solo.
in front of the choir. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Awesome. So like, as far as hip hop artists though, like, do you relate well with like a Kendrick Lamar?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Kendrick Lamar is a really, that music is like beyond my like understanding. It's so like I don't even know how to explain it. It's so beautiful. I love it. Like Kendrick Lamar's old stuff, I feel like that makes him one of the best of all time because it's so dynamic with what he's saying and his flow is on point. Everything about his music has always been good. I mean, I had mixed emotions about this last album he dropped because I was the first listen to it. I thought it was gonna be like Good Kid, Mad City, but it wasn't. It was something like a deeper meaning behind it and like lots to think about. So I was listening to it the first time. I was like, oh, I don't like this. This doesn't sound good. But I gave it a listen again in a more calm state of mind, and I really loved it.
So J. Cole, is that more your style?
I mess with J. Cole's music so heavily.
Okay, so that is more your style. So you
well,
like
not more my style. Like
not your style, but who you can see yourself
Travis
working
Scott.
with. Also, okay, Travis Scott. I think he's a Houstonian, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's out of Houston.
I love Travis Scott's music because it's like he's so wild, he's so raw with everything he does. It's like, who's gonna tell Travis Scott what he can do? I love to work with Kanye. I love to work with the people who aren't afraid to be themselves.
Okay. And we know Kanye is not. And
Not
there's many
afraid.
selves there. There's more than one selves when dealing with Kanye. And we
Yeah.
love all of him and all of those people in there. So as far as so you mentioned one R&B artist, which is Chris Brown. Any female artists? Because you don't even mention men.
Tinashe.
Okay. And so she sings. So would you go like head to head as far as singing, or
Nope.
would you mix in the rap with a little singing, with a little dance?
She slayed me in singing, so I let her get that. I just probably rap on the beat or something like that. Something cool, something casual, something me. But there's a lot of people in the industry that I love to work with, like Justin Bieber, Rihanna, stuff like that. But I just want to make my music up to par. So when I hop on a song with them, it's not like I'm trash compared to them.
So when you get your music out, though, then will you call your daddy? Because that's where you need to pull your daddy card and like, look, daddy, like you heard my music. I did it on my own. It's hot now. Can you call Rihanna for me? Like, well, you don't want your dad to make a phone call? Can we get daddy involved somehow? Because at that point, you would have already dropped your music, proven your point. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for me, I feel like if I had one famous person in my family, I guess that's what they're used to as well.
I have like 5.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Ray
Well,
J,
that's true. You
Brandy,
are related to Ray J
yeah,
and Brandy.
Daz,
Okay, that's
yeah, all
true.
of them. So
Oh, and
it's
Daz is a producer.
yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
might work with
Okay.
him sooner than not though. That's somebody I'd love to work with. We had that conversation that day and it was really like mind blowing. He really blew my mind with that one.
And then you can also learn. I know you
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know you want to like get yourself in your own zone and come to the table already having studied the craft, understanding the craft. As far as business side, are you studying how contracts are written out
Of
or how
course.
the business side? Because of course you have your family that could help you, but are you doing that on your own as well?
Yeah, I don't sign anything unless I give it to my attorney.
Are you trying to sign something first, or are you trying to just do this on your own independently first? Like, do you want to drop your music on your own, produce, write, drop it first, and go that route, or after you have written your song, produced it, gotten it out, then will you call your daddy?
I want to sign for like just like my youth, like my youth in the game, and then like when I'm older and I'm making like more different music, I'll be independent and I'll start my own record label and stuff like that. But I just want to sign first, just to get a name out there first, and then when I have like my whole brand established as myself, then I'll go from there and I'll just build. But I don't want to try and do it all by myself without having to label it just yet. Cuz
Okay.
independent, it's kind of hard. Like, I trust me, I see a whole bunch of people trying to be independent, and it's like it's tough for me to see them struggle when they're making really good music. So I would love to just sign and just have a record label deal with all the distribution and everything like that. But yeah, I'll probably break off and do independent stuff like how my father did. For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, because I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
of
but
course
his situation was a lot worse than mine, cause he was in the death row deal, and yeah,
and I didn't study that before I came in, but I don't know like the whole background on all his record deals. But I thought today with music that I thought more people were going the independent route
oh yeah,
first.
everybody's going independent first, like, but they end up signing somewhere, and a lot of times they're not even that much independent because they rely on somebody else. Like, it's like a lot of like in the South they build up on each other. Like, it's not like somebody just like, oh, I'm just coming out the scene. Like, Russ is one of the only people that's pretty much came out on the scene and really done it independently, and I applaud him for that and everything like that. He makes some pretty good music, but everybody builds on each other because somehow you know somebody. It's a small
Exactly.
city. It's like, oh, it's like, hey, man, I need you to listen to this. Let me slide you it. It sounds good. It bangs in the club. Let's get you on the roster.
You're just coming out of high school. Do you feel like with I don't know if it's the popularity of music or it just seems to be so much money to be made in the business or I don't know, but coming out of school, did you find more kids are interested in music, like trying to rap or sing, than trying to be a lawyer or a doctor?
Yeah, it's a quick come up, everybody thinks, but it's not that quick and easy once you start doing it and get behind the mic, and then you realize you don't sound like what you think you do.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I feel like so many kids nowadays, not kids because you're not a kid anymore, but young adults
Kid at
are
heart.
trying to really pursue the entertainment industry because they think it's the fast money,
I mean,
and
don't get me wrong. If you make some good music, it could be quick money, but it's not quick money for everybody.
but what is that process? Like for me, I don't know anything music wise, so I want to kind of dive into what is the process of like getting your once your music is out. Let's say if you have it on iTunes, because I know you can do that on your own now. You have it on SoundCloud or Mixcloud and all these other different avenues. Then once it is a hit, like what's the next step after that? Like, do I have another guest, P.O.E.M? He's coming in. He's had music on iTunes and SoundCloud and those different avenues where you will put your music. And I guess that's the question I have for him. First question is, what's next? Once you have a song, what is the next step if you're starting out on the independent route when you do not have a label behind you? And what you hear now is P.O.E.M's song. We're going to ask him, once you get this song out, once it's hot, once you got your lyrics laid on the track right and you didn't use auto tune and then it sounds good and it's banging, how do you get onto shows? How do you get your name out there? So when we come back, You will listen and hear from P.O.E.M and Julian as well. Julian is staying with us. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited, and we shall be right back.
And the way we hang is so easy. Appreciate what you want, I promise ain't no
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. It's Jackie Elam. You are watching Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. We were just discussing what is the next step once you get your song on top of a hot track. Then you're ready to roll and move it to any source, iTunes, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. Like, what is the next step if you have a hot song? We were talking to Julian Broadus, Snoop Dogg's third son, and we also have P.O.E.M. Is it still P.O.E.M or P.O.E.M fifth? Like, did you drop the fifth?
No, it's still P.O.E.M, but I just been doing P.O.E.M fifth lately just for the shows. That way people can find me easy, just in case they want to look it up right away or something. Because that's all the Instagram, SoundCloud, Twitter, Tumblr, all that.
So that's a song. What's the name of the song we were just listening to?
That's called Truth.
The Truth?
Yeah, The Truth.
Okay, so you are an independent artist,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yeah, but that
Okay, so the beat, because you got to break it down for us folks like me. I have no musical skills. Now, I did play the trumpet in middle school. I was the first chair all the time beating the guys, but that's not the point. I am not musically inclined. So, okay, where'd you get the track from? If as an independent artist, do you make your own beats?
No, I don't.
So then if you don't make your own beats, okay, which Julian is studying to make his own beats, when you don't make your own beats,
Right.
how do an artist find beats that doesn't cost some crazy, amount that normally, big stars pay for?
Right. For me, it's just been mostly networking because that's my big thing right now. Building me is just networking. So anywhere I go, I keep business cards with me. I try to make sure I hand them out to everybody. So from there on the social network though, like Twitter, that's definitely been a big portion of my producers and stuff, finding them off of Twitter, Instagram, and just from there. Other people I know, like I say, walking around with the business card, sometimes I just run into somebody who happened to produce or whatever the case may be. So networking is just
that's the number one thing. Networking. Just talking, passing out your cards. Okay, so then what's that process? So you meet a person, you find out, okay, cool, I make beats. Okay, cool, let me hear it. Okay, I like that beat. Like, what happens? Like, what is the process for an independent artist to get that track from that producer?
Well, it depends on the producer too. So if they're on the come up, then they gon' they might share it with you or they'll give you a good deal. You got other producers, they might, just kind of, because with that, it's kind of like sentimental value. So sometimes you got producers, they might not like a beat so much, so they'll give it to you for a lower price, or they might know, okay, this the banger, so I'm finna jump the price on this one. So it just really depends on how you collab with the person, how you network. You got to use your mouthpiece at the end of the day. So if you can hustle, you might be able to talk a deal or something.
Would you consider using someone else's beat? Because I know you're trying to make your own beat, and then I know you said Daz, you would use that's your uncle, correct?
No, cousin.
So you would use that is already a guaranteed hit, but I'm just saying, like, that's a whole nother process. You got lawyers, you have like a whole procedure of getting that track from your cousin. But if it's somebody you just met, like, how are you sure they're not going to try to come back and like take claim of that beat if they just gave it to you or said it's not a big deal because they're trying to come up? Like, how do you protect yourself as an independent artist?
Well, at that point, you got to be smart. I mean, if you already see you getting a nice buzz off of it, you need to go reach out to that person first. Like, hey, I want to go ahead and try to pay you off, or I want to work out some type of something where you get a certain percentage of whatever the royalties.
Wait. Because see, now my business mind is picking up. You would do that after you had already got a hot track, or don't you want to do that before?
It'll be before, but I'm saying, like, once you really see where the buzz going, because I mean, you will see within the first few days of putting it out, and listening to it. I mean, if you know you got a hit, or you should know what you're gonna do with the track. If you got a plan for a song, you need to plan ahead and talk to the person. So, because I know I got one guy I get exclusive beats from, but we worked out a deal where we know if something happened where like somebody want the beat or they want to use it for a movie, anything like that, we just split it.
Okay. Well, we have a caller on the line. Welcome to Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. Hi, caller. Who are you and where are you calling from?
Hey, sis.
Hey.
It's Johnny.
Hi. How are you, Johnny?
How you doing, Julian?
Hey.
Julian, and we also have P.O.E.M here.
What's going on, man?
What's your question?
I just got one question. I Okay, we know, Snoop Dogg is a legend. Are you planning on following his footsteps?
In what sense?
As far as rap, do you rap?
Yeah, I do rap, but I'm trying to move away from just being a rapper. I just want to be more than that.
Okay. Well, what do you want to be?
I want to be the best me I can be.
That's right.
And with that being
Okay.
said, there's a lot of things that I'll dibble and dabble in. Like I'm gonna start doing modeling soon. Hopefully I start doing acting. But I don't want to be just one dimensional. I want everybody to know Julian for being that multi-talented young man for right now. And then when I build up, you'll have like a whatever you want to call me sooner than not. I hope it's something good.
Well, thank you for calling, Johnny. I appreciate your question. Continue to listen. And every Saturday I'm here, so don't forget to tune in. Okay, so P.O.E.M.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Like I know when people get in, it's usually multiple gifts that people have. I mean, if you're expressive or if you're talented or gifted, it's not in one thing. So how did you start rapping? Was it also the form of poetry as well?
Yeah, it was the same thing, just like Julian. I was in high school, middle school, elementary school, always writing something. It was a good for me too, because I had some other personal stuff going on that, I just didn't know how to deal with. So writing it down kind of got it off my chest. Started doing open mics back home. Shout out to Nobody Big Yet. Got some friends I went to school with. They just started a movement doing open mics. So I started working with them, kind of getting used to being in front of people, getting used to being on the mic. And from there, I had my cousin, You Can't Quit, Sharon B. He started, getting me in the booth. That's where that came about. He did the hustle and flow style, put the cup holders on the wall in the closet,
Okay.
put the mic up. Next thing you know, he was going.
So did you feel like you didn't mind the progression? I mean, you didn't mind seeing yourself kind of grow. You didn't, of course, like the sound at the beginning. Did you pull anything off the?
Not yet.
No,
I
you
got
didn't pull
one
anything
song I probably will eventually, but no, for the most part, when I first started, I kind of knew like, all right, I want to see if it's possible. Since my cousin think I can rap, people do like my poems. Like, let me see if it's possible. So I put up a mixtape, and the first mixtape pretty much was only 2 hooks, 1 verse, the whole mixtape.
Okay.
Then after that, I was like, okay, I got the first stack of views. And I'm like, all right, people listen. Let's see if it happened again. So I put out another one. I didn't own none of the beats, found them, still had tags all over them, So it was just like, yeah. So it was just like, let's sample this. And I got another stack of views. So I'm like, all right, I might be able to do something. So.
Okay, that's awesome. So now that you have music out, can you tell us where can we find your music?
You can find it on SoundCloud, P.O.E.M 5th, P.O.E.M 5th. You can find it on YouTube, P.O.E.M_TV, P.O.E.M_TV. And other than that, you just come to the shows, because that's where I've been releasing a lot of the new stuff, because that's my strategy right now. If you want to hear something new, you got to come see me.
Okay.
You got to come see this.
And that's the next thing. Okay, so with him Julian is trying to do this on his own. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to call the 5 famous people in his family. Like, how awesome is that?
That's
I mean,
good.
you know what I'm saying? Do you got
hustle.
anybody in your family that's famous?
I mean, not
you
famous in the
no.
music. Nah.
No. So it's like, that's kind of cool. You got 5 people that you do not want to dial, and that's fine.
It's not that I don't want to call them. It's like I want my talents to make them call me.
There you go. There you go.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Well said.
That's how it's supposed to be. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's at the stage that he's at, and then you are where you are. How do you go from the writing process, now I dropped the track, to, okay, you put it on SoundCloud, you put it on iTunes because you can sell it on your own.
Yep.
Now you're doing shows though. So like, what was that progression? Like, how did you go from his place to now where you are? You're doing local shows, and you've been very consistent with doing these shows, which is awesome.
To be. Oh yeah, thank you.
But don't start us, because my whole show is to help people, to educate, to empower, to encourage them to get out there and do whatever they want to do in the entertainment industry. So don't leave a step out, because I know you passed out the cards to get the tracks. How did you start booking these local shows in LA County and Orange County?
Just like I say, networking, talking to people, seeing other artists, seeing what they had going to support people, talking to who was around, seeing who I might run into. Like I say, my big portion is networking. I mean, without networking, I probably couldn't do none of this that I'm doing, because you gotta know somebody that can put you on that show. So of course I started out dive bars doing that stuff. We didn't even done, one of the shows. So it's just making sure you talk to people, making sure you take advantage of who you're around, regardless if it's an artist or a friend. Just, getting that support, asking them, okay, well, where could I go? How can I figure out who to talk to? Or if that's the person, cool, let me go introduce me, just take me over there, let me do the rest. So
how can they trust that? Okay, they may hear say if you played the song, oh yeah, that's hot, I like that. But how do I know you're gonna do well on a show if you don't? Let's just say if you didn't have anything to show them, but they put you on based off the song, but you may not perform well.
Right. Well, that's the thing. See, that's where you got to take that self initiative and start gaining that experience. I mean, you can't just assume that okay, I'm gonna get up here and be able to talk in front of 100 people if you can't even go to a dive bar and do a show for nobody.
Okay.
So you got to be able to go perform for nobody. Keep watching the crowd build. Get familiar with knowing that you might not even see a face, I mean, but you got to go talk to those people, make sure you look them in the eyes, so that way when you do start building that trend like I slowly have been doing, it's just continue to understand that it's all right. Like you can do this, just take your time, get up there, keep practicing, and like I say, network. That's all I do. That's my favorite thing.
Okay.
Network.
So now that you're saying network, and this young man sitting next to you has the cream de la, I'm like, he has any and everybody that you would want to reach out. So how do you feel if you had someone that you could reach out on that level? Would you, or do you like this hustle that you're doing, the grinding, that you're doing, just doing it yourself?
Well, me coming out of Flint, Michigan, I like the hustle. So, I mean, of course, it's always good if you can have that type of support. Then ask for it. Don't close mouth, don't get fed. So you never know. They might be willing to help you out or whatever. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't go and just kind of be begging or looking for them to really, oh, please. No, I understand because I watched this person, whoever that artist is, they had to take their time. They had to do some of the same things that I'm doing right now in order to meet the right people or even just get the money behind them. I mean, you can't get no money if you're not working for it. So I don't know nobody that give out handouts.
That's true. And I guess which I don't know all of your father's stories and how he grew up, because again, I'm from Houston, but I guess that doesn't matter. I just don't go and Google people and search them like that. But I guess he could have, he probably had some type of hustle of him having to get out there and grind and pass out CDs. I know back in the day they used to pass out CDs. You don't have CDs
all
anymore,
in Long
right?
Beach, right at VIP Records. That's where he used to always be at, trying to get that music going. So I respect his hustle, and I feel like as a man, I can't go along asking him to put me where he is when I'm not working hard enough to
like
get there.
He did.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I feel like that's why I'm not reaching out to him. It's
Yes.
not that I don't want to reach out to my father and tell him, oh, come please help me on this, but it's not like that. I want to show him that he's not the only one that can grind hard in a family. And I just want to make a statement by letting my music talk for itself. I don't need to go about and ask him, oh, Dad, can you hop on this song for me so I can get a whole bunch of views? And it's not like that. I just want people to understand that I work for what I got. And I don't know. I don't want to be like a stubborn kid and be like, oh, I don't want my dad's help. Oh, this and that.
No, I respect that. I get it, because if you grow up and you have to hustle, you got to hustle. You got to do what you have to do to get yourself out
especially
there.
in this business, because if you don't hustle, I mean, somebody going to take advantage of you real quick.
It's easy to get left out real quick out here.
So when you say take advantage, what do you mean?
Just, if you don't got that hustle, because for me, the hustle is just add that sense of knowing that, okay, I'm a human being, I'm a young man, so I'm not going to let nobody play me, because I'm a hustler. So we going to talk business, we going to make sure everything benefit to both of us, because if not, if I'm getting a handout, guess what? I can end up getting nothing out of this but a few extra followers and stuff, which is cool. It's not bad, but I mean, for me, if you gonna hustle, the whole point of hustling is to get some money and keep moving forward.
And I know you almost had a record deal, right? Someone was interested,
something like that.
But why'd you turn it down? Like it just wasn't right. It didn't sound right.
You gotta talk to. You gotta be.
So
able to talk
what
business.
what would you tell someone in your position? I got my music out. I'm doing some shows. Would you tell them to jump on the first thing that comes to them, or just to take their time and stay in that place of pushing?
Think about it. Really think about how this is really gonna benefit you. See what you got to know what that person has going on. You got to know who are they pushing, who the top artist is, what type of sound, because it'll give you an idea of what they want to do with you. So you really need to think about it. Don't just, oh, okay, here it go. This is a label, I'm finna do it, because the label might not even keep their promises. I mean, you see that big old packet, half the words you probably don't even understand. So
Yeah.
ain't no need to just go rushing into nothing. I mean, sometimes it's okay, bump your head, you might be able to get up, but some people don't get up from that. So
True.
You
And
don't
then
want to sign something you can't go back on.
get yourself out of. And that's why you hear artists may come out and then you never really hear anything from them because they signed a bad deal.
Exactly.
And there are too many examples of a
whole
lot
lot
of
of
bad
examples.
deals. So really artists
Lil Wayne, man.
they have exactly, this man is still battling, it's still, so it's like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
no one has an excuse for signing bad deals, especially in the music industry when you
Right.
can go and research what happened to this person or what happened to that person. You
Yeah.
do want to be wise on the business side, not just on your skill set and your flow and your lyrics and
Exactly.
producing. And that's great. So I am really proud of both of you guys. Two different stages in this business, but it is show business. You guys are both entertaining people. And I already know you have a following even without music yet, just because of who you are. But I know that you're trying to make sure it's all about the individual.
I love all my followers, but I gotta really shout out to like all the people that are really around me, like all my good friends, like my little brother Steven. He's not my real little brother, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Steven, my friend Soil, my boy Soil, Dylan, all those people like that. And like all the people that are always around me, like my step pops Chris, like he's always been there and he's always been taking me out on my games and always been a real support system. And same with my mother and my sister. Everybody's been always anchoring me down. And I really gotta appreciate all my like friends that are girls that I'm not in any type of relationship with, because they're always there for me, like just if I need to talk to somebody.
Support, right?
Yeah, 'cause
that support is great.
it's tough.
Where can
That's
people
well
find you
needed.
though? The people that are watching, the people that are listening. What's your social media? And then give me your social media, P.O.E.M.
My Instagram is broadus.julian, BROADUS.JULIAN, and then my Twitter is jbroadus15, and that's it for right now.
For right now, but everybody just be watching and
Yeah.
and following
You
him.
can add me on Snapchat too. I have some funny stuff on there.
And what's your snap?
Hold on, let me check.
Okay, while he's checking,
Snaps.
P.O.E.M., what's
Snaps.
your social media, P.O.E.M.?
Oh, my social media is P.O.E.M. 5th, so P.O.E.M. 5th. And that's pretty much on everything: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr. P.O.E.M. 5th, and then P.O.E.M. _TV for YouTube.
Okay, and then what's your snap real quick?
It's Suave J.
Suave.
SUAVEJAYY. Yeah, I had to put all my Dominican side.
Okay, and if you're watching me live, but if you want to tell your friends to watch this show, tune in, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Jackie Elam Live. My IG is Jackie.Elam. My Facebook and Twitter is @RealJackieElam. My Periscope is Jackie Elam Live. A lot of it. My hair is still fresh from last week, so I got to give my girl a shout out again. Her name is Kim at KimCreations.com. Creation Salon and Barbershop. You guys can check her out. She is a celebrity hairstylist as well, and Kim is spelled with KYMM. And one more, Health Solutions Medical, Dr. Brooke Mottlag. She does all great things for your internal womanly goodies in there, and then for your face, derma fillers and facials and lasers. I did the micro needling, which the other term for it is called vampire facial. So look that up and you'll know exactly what I went through. I feel like it was worth it.
No clue what that is.
Vampire facial, she does it. So tune in next week. We're going to have a Hollywood manager coming in to maybe even expand more on, contracts and deals and being careful on what to sign and what not to sign. And I also, before we go, we have a caller. We're going to take a caller right before we head out. So caller, welcome to Jackie Elam Live. We were signing out, but we want to hear from you. So where are you calling from and who am I talking to? Caller?
Yo.
Okay, well, never mind. It wasn't meant. Well, like we were doing, signing off. Thank you for tuning in. Every show will be different. You never know who we have on my show. Go to latalklive.com, or you can stream this show, and be sure to check out all the other broadcasters on latalklive.com. Peace.
Under this palm, you can find deeper roots. So polish your shoes and button your suits. Cause we the raw reserves cleaning out these new recruits. Cause we the raw reserves cleaning out these new recruits.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. Original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned. You're tuned into America Talk Live, continuing the legacy of the LA Talk Live Broadcast Network. This is the all-new and built back better America Talk Live, where it's still more than just talk. This is LA Talk Live.
You can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite